Is that a Picard in some type of machine? Did this happen at some point?
No, well done. So it was, I can't remember which season, I'm sure somebody can tell me, that Captain Picard was taken over by the Borg and he became a Locutus of Borg. And they used all of his knowledge to attack Federation ships. And it's one of the entry points in, you know what, in Deep Space Nine.
Oh,
You tried to guess. I'm telling you, if you're
I
trying to
know,
guess,
I know. It's a Star Trek thing. I don't know why
you
I was
know,
expecting this to be an exciting story. I'm sorry. That's my
I don't
fault.
know why you also thought it was going to be a simple story because Star Trek is complicated.
That's my fault. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I know you can't understand the complexities of it.
Yes, that's what it is. The complexity. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Real Siblings.
I'm Leia,
And I'm LaVarro.
and today we're talking about Netflix's latest original, or rather, their latest original that I watched, The Lovebirds, starring Issa Rae and Kumail Nanjiani.
Kamau Nanjiani. I know how to say his name.
Yes. Yeah, well done.
I'm pretty
well
good
done.
at it. Kamau
Are
Nanjiani.
you, I was about to say you're going to keep saying it.
And it could be Nanjioni, but it's not it. It's Kamau Nanjiani.
How much time did you put into getting this right before this episode?
About Kamal Nanjiani. How much time did I
You know
spend
what?
getting
Okay.
Kamal Nanjiani's name right?
Name correct.
Not much
yes.
time. It didn't take much. It's just
You-
really
okay.
it's just really a study. By the end of this episode, I probably won't have it anymore. But right now, I got it. So
You're going to keep
Kamal
saying it?
Nanjiani.
You're gonna keep... Okay. Well, it's a good name.
It is.
But even though I introduced this as a Netflix original, it actually was not supposed to be on Netflix. Well,
No.
I'm sure it eventually would have gone to Netflix like everything else. But no, it was supposed to be released in the theaters.
And I think that was a blessing for them. I think that first of all, I love the movie. The movie's great for me.
Yeah,
But
agreed.
I think that it definitely got a much wider audience, because I don't think it's a movie that people would have been like they needed to go see at a movie theater. I think they would have been fine waiting for it to get to Netflix, and now that it just went straight to Netflix, they didn't have to wait. So I think that was great for them.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel a lot of times nowadays, like, unless it's like a big action film, people don't feel the need to see it on big screen. Like, I would have gone to see it, obviously.
I definitely
because
would have saw it too, for sure.
Right,
I was
like-
planning to see it.
See, yeah, I'm a romance fan, but also any film that stars people of color, especially if has a black woman in a lead role, I'm gonna pay and be like, here's my money. Like that's my support, right? So yeah, I would have gone to, but I'm happy that they put it on Netflix, because then it came out sort of like everybody was talking about it, social media was talking about it. It got a lot of attention, which I was really happy to see, because I, in all honesty, don't remember the last time that I saw a romance film that starred two people of color, much less a black woman, in a lead romance role that wasn't billed as like a black comedy, right? Which, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, I'm very proud of anything that's like black comedy, black film, but I hadn't seen that in a while, so I was like, oh.
I don't
Get
know.
it.
Photograph wasn't really. I don't feel like it was marketed as a black.
No,
film.
it wasn't. I would agree with that.
That's one.
Yeah. So we got two. Both of them starring Issa Rae.
Both of them starting.
Two. Hey. Keep it going, Issa. Keep going.
Keep it going, Issa. What else she got? What else she got?
Like, yeah, that's sort of where we are right now.
Well, what'd you
'cause
think of the movie?
I truly enjoyed it. I thought it was done really well. I wasn't sure how they were going to do it as a romance, because they're both very much known as comedic talents, but rather than like shy away from that, they wrote it into the film.
Yeah.
And in such a way that like it felt really natural and organic to like both their characters, but also to their acting levels. Not that they're not good actors, but like their strong points are their comedy and their comedic timing and being witty and the very fast.
Yes, their back and forth on that is
Yeah.
amazing. Like, I can watch
Right.
them a whole movie of them just.
I
arguing.
agree.
That would
like
be
even
great.
though, right, like the argument at the beginning when you're like, I think they're gonna break up, but you're sitting there laughing because it's
Yeah.
just so good watching it, right? Like, yeah. So I was really pleased with that they didn't try to make it some like over the top romance, film. They were just like, nah, they're funny, they're together, but they're still breaking up, but they're still in love. Which, I mean, if a couple laughs together anyway, right, it's good. So
yes, for sure. And I like how the beginning was the genesis of the relationship, of how loving they were being, and how like involved, and how that like little the awkward that little cloud of romance is there, and then
the awkward giggles.
It's like, are you gonna eat that type stuff?
Right.
And then it's slam cut to the
4 years later. Yes. And you're so like, oh, all right, that changed. Yeah. No, definitely enjoyed that.
And I like that most of the movie, spoiler alert, by the way, it's a spoiler episode. I like that most of the movie you're not thinking, will they or won't they? which is what I thought it was going to be, like, will or won't they like break up type thing, but they broke up pretty much right at the beginning.
That was the beginning.
And this is the story of stuff that happened after the breakup, and it's like it's more of a what will they learn from this experience that will get them to make whatever decision that they're going to make after this experience.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely the story of a couple, like, I don't want to say learning to appreciate each other, but remembering what they appreciate about each other, right? And realizing that it is a mutual appreciation, that what they thought they had lost, or that interest or that love in each other, is still there. Being like, because the entire film, they are reminding each other, they're like, because we're not together, because we're broken up. And so you're always reminded of it as, like, the audience, but they're saying it, but at the same time, you also see why they were good together, right? Like, why they ended up together. And then there's that scene when they go to the house party, when they're trying to get the phone unlocked. And they're having those separate conversations. Kumail Nanjiani's character, I'm sorry, I should have let you say it.
Who? Oh, Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
his character is speaking with one of Issa Rae's character's colleagues, who he was like always jealous of, and he finds out that Issa Rae's character is always like talking about him and bragging about him at work, and then Issa Rae's talking with her friend and being like, oh, but you and your, I don't know if it's her husband or partner, whatever, but like, judging by your Instagram, y'all are always doing like crazy stuff and like always happy, and she's like, yeah, no, that's for my ex. Like, yeah,
our life isn't that great. Like,
right, we're not doing half as much crap as we're putting out there. Like, but like, y'all
we're looking at you guys like you guys are great. Like,
right. And I was like, oh dang, and they're both like, oh, okay. Like, we do have something good here. Like, we just didn't necessarily realize it. Like, I don't want to say realize it, because I do feel like they appreciate it, but like they just had stopped appreciating it.
I think they let so much other stuff like get in the way of it, like so much of I want to be right about this thing, or I want to win. I think it's like I want to win attitude that they were both having, that got in the way of the stuff that they really appreciated. Like it was there, they just stopped noticing it and started more trying to, I don't know.
Yeah, like they weren't just focusing on like each other and being happy, right? And I like the fact that it ends with them both appreciating each other, but like knowing each other a little bit better, but also knowing each themselves as a couple better, and they're also more supportive of each other at the end, which I really liked. It wasn't just like, and now we're good and we're gonna hug and kiss. Like they're like, nah, we had some shit we need to work out, and maybe like this time being like broken up, also being chased down, people trying to kill us thinking that we're the cops are after us, also was a bonding experience too, but ultimately also realizing that we're good together outside of that.
This is the best thing that could have happened to our relationship.
Right. Which also, let's talk about the fact that they ran from the cops for all that time, and then the cops was like, you didn't need to.
But I still feel like it was justified. Yes, I would. If that situation happened to me, I absolutely would have done the same thing. Like, no, completely. There's a dead white guy here, and there's two non-white people here. Obviously, we did it. It's the eyes of the law. It was us. We did it. Somebody called and said we did it. No, I don't care. There's no defending this. We got to figure this out.
Yeah, we are guilty. Completely.
We got to give them some other person to blame for this, because if we don't give them some other person to blame for this, it's us.
Right, which it was very realistic, especially that scene when they're in the diner trying to figure it out, and Issa Rae's doing the thing with the body cam, and I was like, I shouldn't be laughing. This is a real issue. This is such a problem, and the fact that they're both like quote unquote like highly suspicious demographics, her being a black woman, and then him like looking the way he does and being South Asian, and they'd be like, oh yeah, no, like no,
it's like no.
And no, like you're guilty. You're guilty.
It's cracks me. Even thinking about it, cracks us. She covers her. Just me covering my body so I can beat your ass.
And he's like, but officer, and she's like, and you stay to believe it, and you're laughing. You're like, but this is really what like you spend the entire time like them because it's so honest, right? Like, yeah, you're going to be running around doing all this silly stuff, but also at the same time knowing that, like, the cops aren't going to believe you. Just like when the cop drives by after they're in the store, and they're just like, oh, he's just regular racist. And you laugh, but it's so true. Like, oh, he doesn't think we're murderers. He's just regular racist cop. Okay, all right. Like, whew, okay. Like, I'm used to that, right? Like, I love that touch of reality, even though it's a romance. I thought that was really well done.
And even when the cops told him, like, no, obviously we know it wasn't you. It wasn't like like you guys are crazy. Why would you think that? It was I know why you think, because it was a black woman cop who said it.
Yes.
So she's like, oh yeah, I know why you think that. He probably would. Yeah, I get it, but no, we've seen it on camera. It's fine. You're good.
Yeah, she did. She wasn't even like, what? You don't trust the cops? She's like, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see how you got there.
Right, okay. Yeah. But no, I thought it was really well done. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing them in more things together either. Just because it was, like, I really do love their back and forth. It was witty. It was smart rom-com. It had, like, enough, like, awareness with the idea of them both being, like, people of color and the racism, but it still did it in a comedy way. And then I like the different approach that they broke up in the beginning and then they ended up together at the end, because you know they're going to end up together.
Yeah.
But it was really fun just watching that process.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like comedies can be like too over the top when you have two comedians who are quite as fast as they are. But this one didn't feel like that. Like, I still felt that even with the speed with which they speak in their back and forth, the rhythm of the movie was really well done and really well paced.
For sure.
So I was like, oh, I would watch this again. Like, I don't know, maybe it happens and y'all are in Europe. I would still watch it. Like, I would. I don't need it to be a whole different story even, because, like, one, racism's universal, and two, you don't trust cops anywhere. But wherever y'all are fun together. So I would watch it. Like,
I'm probably going to watch this again now. It's a real fun movie. I really enjoyed it.
No, definitely agreed.
What didn't you like?
I'm sure there were some things, but I don't remember it now.
I know there's one thing that there's a little suspension of belief that you have to do throughout the movie. Like, I don't know what the cult, I don't know what they were doing wrong, so I don't know what the real crime of that was.
Yeah, I don't know. That's true, because the cult members were like all consenting adults.
Yeah,
I
don't know what the crime was there. I don't know what they were being protected from, except for embarrassment. But there wasn't a crime happening as far as I can tell.
No, that's true. And the cult members were the ones being blackmailed. But maybe they had, like, done illegal stuff because they had been blackmailed. Maybe.
That wasn't clear, for one. If it was, it just wasn't clear. And then and then another part was when he had them handcuffed in the back seat of the car, and he left. Yeah. And they got out of the handcuffs, but they, instead of showing them getting out, like, there's no way that he doesn't know that they're not handcuffed anymore.
I mean, carry yourself with the confidence of a mediocre white man. So he was just like, there's no way they got out of these cuffs. Like, that's just what I went to say.
He had to watch them get out of the car. He had to watch them walk ahead of him. Like, he had to see all of this. He had to smell the burnt plastic from them burning the twist ties off.
Maybe he just thought they had smoked while, like, he was outside preparing the boat to shoot them on.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Like, you can't hold plastic ties around your wrist while you're walking with them tied behind you. You can't do that?
That's not something I can do. I can't get out of a car with acting as if my hands are tied behind my back without them being tied behind my back. Maybe that's just a skill I don't have, and I'm projecting.
I was about to say.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah,
at
you
Clear
got
Shop.
if you practice it more, you would understand that it's possible. Totally.
Okay, thanks for
Yeah.
clearing that up.
I don't know if I would want the next one to be on Netflix or if I'd want it to be released in a theater. I'm not really sure, right? Yeah, I'm not really sure.
If it was released in the theater, I absolutely go to a theater and see it. I would have, like I said, I would have went to see this one in the theater.
Yeah. But you know what?
What?
No, I'm retracting. If Fast and the Furious can have 10 films in the theater, we can have a romance epic too. So no, it should be in the theater.
Okay.
I don't know why. In my mind, that's how that works.
All right.
Yeah.
The difference between those two examples are the theater setting of Fast and Furious. Like that
Really?
just screams for, because it's, there's big explosions, there's stuff happening everywhere. I feel like that is more appreciated in a movie theater, and a romantic movie can be an intimate experience that can be appreciated. It may be even more at home. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that's just. I think there's the two different exposition experiences.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. So where would you put it if this was to continue? Like if there was a sequel, would you want it to be released actually in the theaters, or would you want it to be on Netflix?
I would want it to be released in the theaters because I like going to the movies and I like seeing all different types. I don't only see the Avengers at the movies. I like to see everything. I think it's a good date night. Like go out and see something. But if it's gonna happen, if it's not gonna happen, if the sequel was to happen in the next year or so, maybe at home because there's a pandemic happening right now and no one's going to the theater. So go ahead and put it at home.
That's true. We're talking about sequels, but I'm like, you can't even get COVID insurance right now for film sets, so I don't even know how they make it.
Right.
I
don't want them to make a Zoom call movie out of this. So let's just wait.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah, because I did like. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to imagine how this would be. Like all of the times that they're threatened, but it's like over Zoom call. Like how's that gonna work out? like what are they gonna do? Like the few chase scenes they had, they can't do them.
They can't do
like.
That's what we should do. We should remake a movie, like an all-out action movie, all on Zoom, like the whole.
You know what? I sort of want to do this.
Yeah.
I sort of want. Okay, all right. This is gonna be a Real Siblings project. We need to pick a film, and we're gonna do this.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna make it up. It has to be like a super like Fast and Furious type.
I was just about to say it needs to be. Yes. Okay, we'll decide which Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, which Fast and Furious.
Yeah. I sort of want to do Tokyo Drift because it has those really serious drifting scenes with that dramatic music. It's just gonna be like a toy car going like this. Like we just. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Real Siblings next project. Y'all look out for that.
All right. Well, thanks for chatting with us. That is the end of our show. We're almost out of time. Close enough to being out of time that we can say goodbye without rushing through it.
Yes. And if you want to continue the conversation about this film, your thoughts on it, other things about Issa Rae, send us your pronunciation of Kumail Nanjiani's name.
Whoa,
then you can reach
us. It's Kumail Nanjiani.
I apologize.
Nanjiani. There's a little bit of emphasis on the I. Kumail Nanjiani.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, apologies. Mm-hmm. If you would like to send us your pronunciations or any other thoughts on either one of these actors, because I'm not saying his name again.
You're not saying his name? Kumail Nanjiani?
You can reach us and find us on Twitter at Real Siblings. That's at REELSIBLINGS.
All right. Thanks for the chat, guys.
Thank
you, Kumail Nanjiani.
You know what? Bye, y'all.